What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. I am Demetrius. I go by Didi. Two times in one day. I don't typically go live twice in the same day, but today is a little bit different, man. Like I wanted to talk about Mr. Chud the Builder. We discussed this gentleman 2 or 3 days ago, and I gave my thoughts on his whole shtick, the things that he's been doing on his kick stream. And today in particular, I wanted to discuss him again so soon because he has now been arrested for attempted murder. And the irony is that this is kind of what we were just discussing just a few days ago. Now, I have a couple of people that I follow specifically on Twitter or X that I respect these gentlemen for different reasons, and I heavily disagree with the things that they've been putting out. In fact, some of the tweets that they've been putting out have kind of infuriated me, especially Tommy. I'm especially excited to speak to Tommy. Apparently, both of these gentlemen live in the same state. I wasn't aware of that before, and so with that, I'm going to bring both of these gentlemen on. We're going to discuss Chud the Builder, who is the streamer who walks around, white guy who says the N word, and we're going to sort of talk about our differences. And with that, I'm going to bring the two gentlemen on. What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing? It's good to be here.
Hello, hello.
Tommy, your volume is a little bit low.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right.
So first, I want to say, first and foremost, thank both of you all for agreeing to come on. I apologize for the 30-minute delay. I had some power issues here on my end. I think we got that sorted out. Andre, let's start with you, man. Like I've never spoken to you on camera before. You're kind of your reputation kind of precedes you, as I'm sure you're aware of. I'm still not quite sure if you're in character or if you're this way in person. Not necessarily your
There's
views.
there's
Or
never
your
a
views.
character with me. There's always a Andre Williams everywhere you go. Never a character. My view is I stand on it outside. I've got people. I go out a lot here in Detroit, and people catch me on the street, and they're like, you say this and say that, and I keep it real. I got people who've served with me who can. They've come out the woodwork on comment sections. He's the same way, like how we served in the military from school. So there's never a character. I'm
Well,
Andre
no, no,
Williams all the
no.
way.
What I mean, which is what I was kind of getting into. What I mean by character isn't your views specifically. I'm not curious if your views are the same on and off camera. I believe that you believe the things that you say. I mean your personality type, bro. Like I believe you say you're in your 20s, but you give me like the vibe of somebody that's in their like 40s, like
Yeah,
super old school, old spirited. I'm like,
you gotta
Yeah,
have some
Andre,
style.
you've lived
you're
50 years
Yeah,
mature.
already.
He's not used to mature.
yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of people, and this is the problem with black people. We got too many children in the community. Nobody has any style. No one, everyone is too young. Everyone wants to have this baby face look, and fuck all that. I want to look like I've got some experience. I've been some places. Not like, oh, this is a child I got to talk to. No, you're not going to tell me something unless I want to learn, and you're far more knowledgeable than I am. I'm willing to listen and sit down, but when around people my age, no, you're talking to somebody who's been somewhere. Don't try to talk to me. That's how I am with niggas around, people around my age. That's how I am. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. I respect that, but let's make some clarifications here. Tommy, I
yeah.
know that you're a comedian, so maybe you were being sarcastic there. Mature, there's a difference between maturity and having the personality type of someone from that's in their 40s or 50s from the 40s and 50s, right?
Yeah, I
There's a
get it. I
completely
was I
different
was making a joke.
personality type. Okay. There's a completely different personality type. And it's in every way a compliment. All I mean is I don't mean just that you come off as mature. There's a lot of mature people in our community, that being the so-called black community. But what I mean specifically is that you come off as, you give me like somebody from, like if I was watching old-fashioned film, the personality type, not necessarily the maturity as well, but the personality type. That's all. Like you give me old school vibes. That's all, which is a good thing. Tommy, you've been on the show before, uh, specifically to talk about the whole Charlie Kirk investigation, and you and I tended to agree quite a bit. This conversation is completely different. Thank you for coming back on, man. Chud the Builder. I'm going to start with Tommy. I'm going to then go over to Andre. Andre, do you go by Andre or is it Dre?
Andre.
Andre. Okay. Tommy, I'll start with you, man. So before we get into the incident that just took place in the last 24 hours, sort of give me your thoughts on Chud the Builder.
Well, I mean, I don't know him personally. I've never met him. I've seen a lot of his content, both in clips, and then I've seen some longer content, some 10, 15, 20-minute segments that are uncut from streams of his. But I'm not a Kick or a Twitch guy, so I don't follow the streams that they do, the IRL streams. I know that he is the guy who has been framed as the exacerbator, instigator of the N-word in public. That's what he has now become known for. So are you asking what my take is on that, or what he actually does on streams?
I mean, I think that's one of the same thing. Like the character that we've seen, not Dalton, but sort of Chud the Builder. What are your thoughts on the character, the stitch that he's created for himself, the reputation that he's created for himself? What are your thoughts? You said that he's been sort of framed, or no, he's been framed. He hasn't been framed for anything. Like, the thing that he does is the thing that he's known for.
No, I'm saying the word framed when I say frame, like framing, like media framing, like social media framing, like when you see a clip in a 2-minute context and it's missing the half an hour beforehand and the 45 minutes after. That's how I'm using the word framing. So when I say other people have an opinion of a 2-minute clip they see, they have it in their mind of him. And as you're saying, a character, that is their framing of him. That's the word that they would use. That's how I'm using that.
Sure.
I'm not suggesting that they're framing him criminally. What I'm saying is, in their mind, they have a framing of, here's this loudmouth guy who walks up on black people in public and gets them to pick a fight with him. That's the framing that we've all been introduced to Chud with. If you haven't watched his content on your own, then really the content you're getting from Chud the Builder search on X is stuff like that. 2 minutes or less, framed to show you that stuff.
Yeah, I reject your premises there. Like, there's 15, 20, 30-minute clips of him doing the same things as the 2-minute clips. Framing, I wasn't saying like legally, or I get the distinction that you made.
Yeah, what I'm saying is media framing. It's how.
Well, no, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with what you said. I just want to state for the record that the framing that people know him for, I think it's really what is on Kick altogether.
Right, but so I mean, we can just jump into that then. There's not a single clip, and you'll say that there are tons of clips of Chud the Builder doing things in public that you say are exacerbating the behavior of people in public, or are instigating or inciting violence against him. But I would ask, find one clip where he is physically aggressive towards another person first. And you will not find one.
Doesn't have to be.
Hang on. What you will find is him holding his stick, his streaming, a monopod, and he has another camera in his hand, and he will walk up to people and ask, do you believe in free speech? And when they say yes, he will then say, so do you believe that a white person has the right? And then he will go on and to list a bunch of different words and challenge their reactions to see if they actually believe the thing they just said. Right. So he'll get them to commit to, yeah, we believe in free speech. He may even say, so you believe in the First Amendment? Yeah, we believe in that. Okay, so you believe that I have the right to say the words that you guys say? Maybe, depends on the word. And then he'll say the word to them.
Right.
At that point, what is the framing that you're saying is wrong there? Because that's what I'm suggesting. That's what I'm pointing out to you. That's the point that you're seeing.
Definitely. And Andre, I'll get you in here in just a moment. I'll definitely answer you happily. You said that's what he does on his streams. Before I answer you, Tommy, here's a very simple question. Is that all he's doing on his streams?
That is what I've seen him begin conversations or altercations with people doing.
Yeah, completely. Like,
you want me to answer the question? That's what I've seen him doing. I've seen him taking water bottles to people who look like they're either homeless or play acting as homeless in national parks or in state parks. He goes and gives water bottles and says, here, you guys look like you're homeless. He gives them water bottles. You can say he's antagonizing them when he goes up to them. He's antagonizing them because they're black and he's white. He has a mustache and he's wearing a hat. But the reality is everybody is operating within the law until they react with violence.
That's cap. So, Tommy, I was hoping you were going to be honest, and you decided to come on camera, despite the fact that you've had time to prepare and educate yourself and do some research, and you
I'm
still
telling you what
decided
I've
to
seen.
come on and be the word that you and I had a back and forth about.
You're not going to use it right. Go ahead.
Disingenuous. And
So
let me
you're
tell you why you're
being a liar, but you don't know what it means.
Tommy,
You disagree, but that's fine.
Tommy, as your boy would say, don't chimp out. Just listen to me.
Try to use the word correctly. You're not even meaning disingenuous.
So you're either
you don't know what I mean.
Hear me out, brother. Like, come on, man, what are we doing? You're either gonna be you're either being disingenuous or you're being ignorant. There's one of the two. So before I forget everything that you just said there, I gave you an opportunity, first and foremost, to say exactly what it is that Chud the Builder is doing. You decided to use an example to make it even worse of him walking up to homeless people. He not only was giving them water bottles, he was giving them sandwiches as well. What was he doing? What was the thing that they had to agree to in order to give it? First and foremost, the inhumane way in which you approach homeless people, or as you say, people who are pretending or could be pretending, presenting themselves as homeless. Why would you walk up to a homeless person and say, I know that you're homeless, you're struggling in life. Here's a sandwich, but do you believe in free speech? Let's exemplify that you believe in free speech first, and then I'm going to give you the sandwich. What human would do that to a homeless person, bro?
I'm sorry. Let's back up a bit because you used the word disingenuous, and I gave you the definition of that earlier on X today when you used it the first time. What you're doing is accusing me of misrepresenting my own position. So you're claiming to know my position better than I do. So maybe you mean ignorant. That's fine. I'll say, like I did earlier, we can clear this up for you. What I told you is what I know and what I have seen from him. If you say that you've seen different things and more things, then I'm ignorant to that. That's fine. But let's not start the conversation by calling me a liar.
I never said that word.
By saying I'm disingenuous, you're accusing me of misrepresenting my own position.
So
withholding how I really feel. That's lying.
So all right, fair. You said, Tommy,
yes,
that his whole shtick is that he walks up to people asking them if they believe in free speech. And then those people that just so happen to be black folks, he asked them, okay, can I say the words that you say? Just so Andre isn't confused about my position, just so you're not confused about my position.
Has he done this
with
white
you're
people?
Not going to interrupt me, and you're interrupting me again.
Yeah, I'm interjecting. Has he? When you
that's the same thing as interrupting. Why use a different word, bro? It means the same thing here. So just so we're on the same page,
I might interject. Does he do this with white people? Does he do this with Asian people? Does he do this with Hispanic people?
Man, you're behaving like the left, bro.
I'm asking you a straight up question because you're saying he only does this with black people.
I'm not
asking you, does he do this with every other race or not?
I'll answer your question.
All right, I'll wait for you.
Thank you. So just so we're on the same page, I do not believe that it's illegal because it's not illegal. And I also do not believe white people should not be able to say the N-word. They should be able to say it because they are able to say it. But I want to get to this before I forget it, and then Andre, I'll let you step in. Chud the Builder, or Dalton, is also known for just simply antagonizing and provoking people. What do I mean by that? Let's just remove the N-word for a second, because Andre, I've seen your tweets, and I happen to agree with your tweets. I just think they're incomplete and they lack context. We'll discuss that. Chud the Builder is walking down the sidewalk with a biracial couple or a mixed race couple, and the white guy with the so-called black girl, he says to these strangers who are minding their own business, get you a white one. Huh? Hold on. My position is not that he should be attacked for it. My position is that he's antagonizing people in public, and he's also making premeditated statements beforehand, and he's making statements of threats once he approaches people with mace in his hand. If Chud the Builder, and I'll shut up and I'll let Andre go. If Chud the Builder was simply sitting at a table at a bar or in a restaurant and he was using the N-word, and someone of color or a so-called black person, black American, heard him saying this, and was offended, and they decided to assault this man, or they decided to confront him. That's completely different. That is not what's happening. We're talking about a man who's turning on his camera, coming out in public, provoking and antagonizing people, and telling them, if you walk up on me, not only will I mace you, but I will even shoot you if you walk up too close up on me. In the state of Tennessee, that is illegal. That is not self-defense. I rest my case. Go ahead, Andre.
I mean, are you saying that he saw like this race mixed couple and it was like a black dude with a white girl and he's like, honestly, I would say the same shit. The other way around, either way, I would say the same shit. I'm not a fan of race mixing either way. I know there's a channel on TikTok, not TikTok, but Instagram, black dude. He does the exact same thing. He goes around and he gets way more coverage and a lot more money than Chud does. Chud gets a lot of coverage on the right, but he gets a lot of support from a lot of people on Instagram, and his channel's still up. He's not banned from it. So I see a lot of that going on Instagram. I can't, he's like forever something. It's this fucking dysgenic looking motherfucker. Like he's the most dysgenic nigga I've ever seen in my life. And he's selling this merchandise and shit. He's got the bags and the clothes.
It's so funny to me, bro. It comes off like comedy.
Yeah.
But you say that you're not in character. No. That's funny. Go ahead.
No, never in character. But yeah, this dude he's retarded. I think it's doing too much either way. I could see like people would be very offended. You're going up to someone's girl, it's like, hey, you should leave homeboy to go. But that's to me, that's neither here or there. Listen, I like what Chud does because guess what? If black people aren't going to do it, then white people are going to do it. And I think I would love to see someone black out there doing it. I would very much prefer someone black going out there doing it. Now, if Chud, if Dalton wasn't Dalton and his name was Draymond, because bitches love to name their kids. They got to add a D to everything. They couldn't name this little nigga Raymond. They got to name him Draymond. If he was Draymond out there saying what he's saying, he would have been dead the first day. This is the problem that we have. What we're seeing with what's going on with Chud. If Chud been black, he'd been done. And this is highlighting what we have to deal with every day in the black community. You say anything that's different or not on the script, you're kicked out. And if you're not kicked out, you're done away with. So that's the problem. That's the problem we're having. I think it was very fair. Looking at everything that's come out so far, insofar as what happened yesterday with Chud, it does seem like a self-defense case. The guy came up on him, said he was going to interact with him negatively, said he was going to interact with him and do something to him. And Chud responded. They end up getting some distance between each other. The guy jumped on him, attacked him, and then Chud shot him subsequently. So that's right there, I would say, is self-defense. Now, to say that he said, are you going to chimp out? Is he going to chimp out? Chimp out isn't a fighting word. There's nothing legally that says that chimping out is a fighting word. And this will probably be the first case to make that as such, that's going to be, if that's going to be added. Even saying like you using a word doesn't mean you have grounds to attack someone. If I call you a nigger, it doesn't mean that you have grounds to go and attack me because of it. You may not like it and it's not right. You can have that argument, good and bad, but it doesn't mean you can use violence and try to attack and kill someone. And when someone's armed, I don't know if you're a gun owner. I don't know if you partake in it, but if someone attacks me and I'm armed, I don't know what's going to happen beyond that. Someone comes up to me and they sucker punch me, if they come up behind me, whatever, I'm going to do everything to neutralize the threat. Because I know what I think is going to happen from what I can perceive in that entire moment is that if I'm knocked out, they're going to take my gun and they're going to shoot me or do something with me or go and do something to someone else. What I'm going to do then is try to neutralize that threat as much as I can, either with my hands. But if this is the case, I'm going to go to force. That's something that anybody who's a gun owner would look at. If I get knocked out and attacked, well, I may have to switch my means and my methods of defending myself based on the severity of that situation, based on the brevity of that situation. So that's what it is.
Andre, is that in the country in general, or does it depend on the state?
This is the problem with states' rights. This is why I really hate the states' rights shit. This is the problem that we have. Like, yeah, the 50 state shit. Every state has their own laws, and we need to get rid of that shit. But sadly, he's in Tennessee. They have their own rights and constitution. It's going to go either way based on what it is. If this was universal across how I would want it as a country,
but it's not about how we want it. It's about how it is.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's how it is. But it does seem like it will go in a way. It would be. I'll take it this way. I'll say this. In reality, they're going to railroad his ass. It is an election year. It is 2026. The midterms are coming up. They do this every fucking time. I say this all the time. They shoot a black person. Oh, they deport too many Mexicans. Oh, we have to cry. Oh, burritos are leaving. Oh my goodness, they shot Tyrone. And they use that to go into the midterms. And they use that as energy to go into the general election. So black people got exactly, what they wanted. Well, I can't even say black people. A certain group of people. Yeah, a certain group of people got what they wanted.
Nah, if you're going to speak with your chest out, Andre, speak with your whole chest out. Say it. This
Jews, yeah. I listen. Your channel.
Interrupting.
Demonetize the channel. I don't care. Do it.
You're okay. All right. Yeah, the Jews are going to push this as much as they can. They've been looking for. It's funny. We got George Floyd 2.0 before GTA 6. That's interesting. Very interesting. We got that.
Yeah, we did
and
get
the Jews
George
are loving
it,
it.
bro. He didn't die.
Oh, he did. He didn't die. He got shot. My bad. He got shot.
Not the same.
But
thing.
you can look at his record.
Hey, what's the law in Tennessee, Andre and Tommy? Educate us.
So you brought up going into if you're antagonizing someone beforehand, you kind of lose your grounds for self-defense. Now, from what I have examined from a lot of people who've done far more extensive research and have put out all the facts from that day. People put out all the facts, and I can link some of the videos as well. That the individual, this was premeditated. The guy had already been following him. He knew who he was.
Was following
who?
Twitter
accounts have been connected.
Dalton.
The guy who got shot. The Twitter accounts have been connected.
Genie, why
That's
are you
already been
laughing?
put out. Yeah, the Twitter accounts have already been connected. That the guy that they found, who had the same Twitter account, had been following him already, had already traveled to go and find Chud. Did say to Chud, I have PTSD. If you say all that chimping out shit to me, you're going to see what's going to happen. And Chud walks away, and then what happens from that?
Can you prove that happened?
The altercation between. Can we prove? There's tons of evidence and videos out there. You can go look it up yourself.
Wait,
I want you
Didi,
to
Didi, have you not seen all these things that everyone else has seen? Have you not seen all of these posts on X that the guy posted himself? Asking
I have one I
Chud?
reposted.
Chud's in my city. I'm going to go get his ass. Did you see that?
Tell me what happened.
There's one video.
Did you not see the video?
There's one video that you have on
Hey, for the people that's watching, just real quick, who are not aware what happened, I'm going to play the news clip here early on, just so people can sort of get a sense.
I don't know why you got fags in the chat saying there's character. There's no character.
Is now facing an attempted murder charge after a shooting today outside the Montgomery County Courthouse. Deputies say Dalton Etherly, better known on social media as Chud the Builder, was involved in a fight leading to gunfire. Both men were hospitalized. Deputies just arrested Etherly, charging him with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Tonight, he's being held in the Montgomery County Jail.
All right, for that's sort of a quick rundown for those of you that are not aware.
Like the nigglets you have in your chat are like, this is a character. This is the problem. I don't know if they're black. They're probably black. These are probably low IQ.
I don't know what that means.
Don't like seeing a black person.
Earlier we spoke about maturity, and I think sort of showing maturity. I think you sort of own that. Maybe you did. Maybe I misunderstood. But just calling people in the chat names is a lack of maturity. I think we know that.
No, it's not.
In general,
you have to call people out when people act like a fool. You have to call it out. That's the thing you have to do.
People.
Andre, just should be out. We know the chat, no matter where we at, bro, are gonna have people that's gonna disagree and say weird things, disrespectful things. It's the chat, bro.
Dude, I've been on the internet for like a very long time. What I do is when I come into a room, I set the table and I say, listen, I don't tolerate this shit. That's what I do.
What's going to happen when
any channel I go on?
Say that, what happens?
That's what I always do.
You're interrupting a guest again, and you're talking
say that again.
to us more, trying to tell us how to behave instead of
what happens after you say that.
What happens? What?
Like after you set the table or set.
Oh, it's just it is what it is. It's just no. That's all it is. I just kind of like dismiss it and go on and continue what I'm doing. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's all. It doesn't matter. Listen, here's what I'm saying. I say it for the public, for it to be known, and we move on from that. That's all it is. That's all I do. I say how I feel. I say it as I examine things, and I just keep going. That's how I've always been. I see someone says something, I state it for the record, and I don't go back and forth with the fucker. Why not? They're low IQ anyway. What's the point of doing that?
How do you know?
It's like, why would you want to even do that?
Yeah, at a certain point, you can.
Why argue with niggas?
Can we get back to the point of the video that we have of Chud being suplexed by a guy who we heard just threatened him?
Yeah, for sure. Tommy, what do you think about his behavior in general?
about whose behavior.
Chud, bro, you know exactly who I'm talking about. There's no confusion there.
I didn't. That's why I asked to clarify. I don't know about his behavior in general. I think ultimately it pushes the football down the field for free speech. If what you want is equal rights and freedom of speech and application of the law across the board for blacks and whites equally, then he's helping more than anyone else out there right now.
What do you think about Nick Fuentes? You think he does the same thing, or?
No, I think Nick Fuentes is a subversive Jew. I think you just saw today or yesterday him chastising and piling on. He says, I don't want to pile on. He goes, I don't want to pile on.
Oh, you feel
Chud
that way
the Builder
disagrees.
No. It's that he made his bones for a decade saying nigger on his stream at midnight on his own comfy.tv. And now he's going to those same people who've paid for his brickstone or his redstone brick house in Chicago. And he's now telling them that it's not okay for them to say, and it's really a naughty word. It's a mean word. And they shouldn't say it because it offends some people sometimes.
That's
Fuck
not
Nick
what he
Fuentes.
said, bro.
I watched the thing and I played it
man.
on my stream today. So that's okay. If you don't agree, but you don't have to interrupt. You asked a question. There's the answer.
Got you.
And people now say he's a martyr. He's a martyr. Well, the black people were chimping out. Well, I don't know. If I were standing around and a black person was live streaming near me and they started saying things offensive to white people, yeah, maybe I would feel a certain type of way about that. Maybe, isn't that sort of our whole thing? And there's something ironic about that. You have a lot of people who are pro-white, and it's all about racial pride, and it's all about beating their chest. And it's all about saying, oh, you know, I'm white. Don't try that stuff around me. Don't insult white people around me. So much racial pride. But then there's this double standard where it seems that white people want to go out in some cases and offend the sensibilities of other people. They feel emboldened, for example, to use harmful stereotypes about other people, say racial slurs about other people, be provocative towards other people, and that's fine. That's free speech. That's funny. Hey, man, can't you take a joke? Hey, man, it's just a word. And when black people get pissed off or take umbrage or they attack, oh, well, you're chimping out. But then when the roles are reversed, if somebody says something anti-white, if someone says something exclusionary to white people, it's those same white people that puff up their chest and say, how dare you? You would never say that about a minority, this, that, and the other. How much abuse have you? Let's just be perfectly honest. Let's be fair. A lot of people aren't going to like this monologue. I don't care. This is what's fair. This is what's true. I see on the timeline how many out and loud and proud white people are saying Indians are fucking Jeets and blacks are niggers and Mexicans are spics and all this kind of stuff. And making jokes about you shit in the street and you like watermelon and all this kind of stuff. And they're the same people. They don't want to hear anything negative about whites. And how do I know that? Because I say negative things about all groups of people. And it's the same people that die laughing when I make fun of one group. Ha ha, that's hilarious. I love when you say nigga. I love when you do that bit. I love when you say you're not going to go to the gas station if there's black people. That's hilarious. When I say Polish people are slipping on a banana peel or they can't change a light bulb, it's the same people saying, hey man, you're anti-white. You say Albanians aren't white. Fuck you. So which is it? So I actually don't know how helpful it is to bring that into the real world, actually.
What does Nick
I don't
know of the real
actually
world?
know what that's doing for anybody. Him, the people involved, the political discourse in America. I'm not sure what's positive about any of that.
You said what, Tommy?
What does Nick know of the real world? Again, he lives in that house. He doesn't go outside. When people try to knock on the door, he maces them and kicks them to the curb.
Bro, that happened one time.
I'm not gonna lie.
It happened the one
Tommy, that
time
was
person
kinda
came to the
based.
house.
She was Jewish. That was based. All right. That was pretty dope that he did that
Tommy
with a
is-
Jewish
this is-
woman.
this is the-
Full
this-
support
this
for
is what
that.
I mean with him. Like, you use one example and you're like, when someone comes to his house, that's one time, bro. And he has good reason
It's
to do it.
the
in that
time
scenario.
that someone went to his house. The other time was when a gunman went to the house. So I
Hey.
shouldn't be encouraging him to go outside then. But the point stands.
I mean-
Nick is an indoor cat. He's an
Tommy-
indoor cat. And he doesn't go outside. And when he chastises someone else for kicking the football down the field outside in real life,
That's not what Chud was doing.
It's
he's
ironic.
That's cap.
Didi, he's right, but Tommy, I would have to say, I mean, Nick is in a situation when there's an armed gunman at your door. I mean, the best case scenario is not to go outside and get shot in the fucking face by crazy. You know, I don't think that even the three of us would want to do that.
Didi,
I have guns, and I'm not going to go out if I know that, you know, Jamal and Tyrone are out there with Dracos. I'm going to stay my black ass in. Now, if I get a good shot from the window, fucking, hey, we're going to go do our thing.
I just said,
but that's
the only other time there was ever someone at his house, it was a gunman, and I just said, and I didn't encourage him to go out at that point.
Okay.
But you use
my
the
fault.
fact that people show up to his house.
I got you.
Against him.
Oh
Here's
my God. No,
question.
Didi. Oh my God. This is where I think we're just talking past each other here, buddy. Because what I told you was he doesn't go the fuck outside. That's the point. That's the takeaway.
The
tag that I'm hitting.
I want to get to that.
He only has people go to his door a couple times. The point is, he's not really a threat ever, and he's not threatened really because he can amass a population of people and go outside and host an event. But Nick doesn't do things outside. Chud is going in at least every day, creating some video content showing you that free speech has issues in town. Free speech has issues all across the country because people like you don't understand the issue and think that violence is a respectable and justifiable reaction to words you don't like.
So Chud has been doing this for an extended period of time. It's taken this long for someone to actually assault him.
No, he's been assaulted several times doing this. This is the first time that he's had to use his weapon to defend his life.
Fair enough. Someone that physically hit him. This is what I'll say. Did Chud break the law at any point?
I don't know.
Yes, and you do know. We're in Tennessee. Tommy, you're extremely intelligent. You don't want to admit he broke the law, bro. You can't go out with mace and a weapon threatening people.
Hey, dumbass. I go out every day armed. I'm telling you that right now. I go out every day armed. It's not premeditation when I eventually have to use those arms to defend myself.
Tommy,
are you a fucking idiot? Are you dumb?
Think up here with me. Tommy, think up here with me. I'm not saying simply
I have to come down a ways, but let me try.
Is illegal. I'm saying bearing arms, having mace, randomly going out searching for people.
Did he?
Listen to me. Calling them racial slurs and also telling them if you approach me, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to you. That is
I think you're missing
initiating
there's a big there's a big hole.
Now here's a perfect time for you to use the word disingenuous because you're being that right now.
Tennessee law. Yeah.
I want to add to what you just said. I want to interject here in what you just said. So he's going out. He's going out. Chud is going out. And he's going out and asking, like, hey, you guys believe in freedom of speech? How do you feel about white people saying the N-word? They respond with aggression. They respond because this is something that black people will do. You know, nigga, I will beat your ass. Nigga, don't you ever say no shit. You know, cracker, you can't say shit. And that's the response that he's getting from them. And then what does he say?
Some of them.
Well, if you try something, I'm going to fucking shoot you or I'm going to mace you. First, it starts off with I'm going to beat your ass, and then it goes to mace, and then he goes into the shooting shit. Okay. That's usually how he does a very good job of trying to escalate to a point to where it's like starting the minimum, because you have to do it legally. Like nobody that's a gun owner first wants to go to the extreme. Honestly, I would say 90% of gun owners, we have guns, we own guns, but we don't really want to get to that point where we have to use it. We don't want to use it because that's not a good thing that you want to be in. If anybody who's ever grown up in it, in these kind of environments, anyone who's ever have to use their weapon, military have to use their firearm, law enforcement, you don't often want to use your firearm. No one wants to be in that situation. Civilian, non-civilian, whatever. So when this happens and you get in these situations where you have black people who are overly fucking emotional over a word, where we gave them so much power to a word, their response is typically with violence. Now, it's kind of like they've done the predictable thing. They've done the already predictable thing. They're meeting violence, and he's getting exactly what he wants. He has the intention of saying this. He knows exactly what's going to happen. And in that response, the opportunity of, if it does happen, gets presented. And it does become a very legal, like a kind of a legal limbo right there, because black people are doing this. This is a cultural thing that is guaranteed to happen 90% of the time once he says this. And it gives him an opportunity to abuse. I hate to say abuse, but that is what it is, to abuse this point in position, given the culture. Now, however, in terms of the law overall broadly, it would be self-defense, given the fact that they've been met with verbal confrontation, right? They don't like that verbal disagreement. Right. They escalated to violence. I'm going to do something to you, making a threat. And he responds with elevating that threat to each level. I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to mace you. I'm going to shoot you as it goes on.
Wait, say it
I'm not
again.
saying that he's asking for it. I'm saying how he escalated each step. I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to mace you. I'm going to shoot you. It goes in either one of those 3 steps from the interaction. That's typically how it goes with Chud. That's typically how it goes. Now, from that, anything can happen. And in most cases, niggas just sit back and talk. They say dumb shit. In a few cases, they've attacked him. They killed his dog. And in this case now, he shot, and he didn't kill the dude, but he shot the dude.
The law is simple.
So,
if you initiate a conflict, unless you retract and you say, you know what, I apologize, or you know what, I take it back.
Dude, if you're going to talk about the law, just either read it or know it or don't.
We still, but okay. Tommy has something to say.
Yeah, you're saying when it comes to the law, and then you're just rambling, and you're like thinking off the top of your head. Just have the law ready to read, or know what you're talking about.
Okay, hey, Tommy,
because the law doesn't say you have to step back and apologize. That's retarded.
Tommy, hey, can you focus?
Yeah,
I want you to listen with your ears, shut your mouth, and I want you to hear the words I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
And somehow the words are about to be identical to what the law says.
Go ahead.
If he initiates the conflict, which is what I just said, and unless he retracts from the conflict, he cannot claim self-defense. Now I'm about to pull it up on the screen.
The word is retreat, and he doesn't need to apologize or any of those things. He did that. That's in the video that you're refusing to play. Play us another Nick Fuentes clip, though.
No, I'm going to be honest.
I'm about to take it down.
At this point, who really gives a damn about the law? I think this is a kind of a bigger conversation that matters. What Chud is doing is good. It's going to set a new legal precedent. It's kind of going to expose how fucked up the laws and the culture is in this country.
No, it's not, Andre.
I think it is,
you're exaggerating, bro.
I think it is. I'm not exaggerating. I'm being serious.
Did I boot? Oh, sorry, Tommy. So it says here, the threat or use of force against another is not justified if the person using force provoked the other individual's use or attempted use of unlawful force, unless the person using force abandons the encounter or clearly communicates to the other the intent to do so. That's what I just said, dude. Rambling. I'm not just rambling.
No, what you said was back.
I don't have
the legal jargon.
It doesn't really matter.
It does matter.
Honestly.
It does matter.
I don't think it does.
What's funny is I've asked both of you all, what does the law say? And both of you struggle.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest. At this point, looking at and examining the entire thing, like really looking at it full circle,
doesn't care about
I really don't even care.
No, I said that I
don't either at this point.
Exactly what the law says in Tennessee. You didn't give me a chance to ask. You asked us both, and then Andre responded.
Tommy,
go back and watch your own episode.
What the law says in Tennessee? Why would you not look that up?
Why would I need to look up what the law says specifically in Clarksville County or in Montgomery County, Tennessee, when I know as a gun owner, when someone attacks me, I'm justified to draw?
Because it depends on the state, dude.
Dude, here's the point. You have a mental problem if you think that is a justified argument. Oh, it depends on my state. It doesn't.
I'm asking what the law says in Tennessee.
And I told you.
He disregards that. God. He doesn't care. That's embarrassing. What does the law say?
Not caring and not knowing are different, but I don't understand. I don't expect you to get the difference when I say those different words. I don't know exactly what the law says in Tennessee there. Now you're going to say I don't care, as you have twice.
I think you're missing the bigger picture, both of you. I mean, really, who cares at the end of the day? I think he's doing a great job. I think it exposes. I really don't. I think what matters is this: exposing the niggerish behavior of the Black community. That's something that I hate. I hate that we react over a word. And now we're about to get the Summer of Love 2.0. Here's what I'm saying. We're going to get the Summer of Love 2.0 over, because it's either going to go one way. Chud is either going to get acquitted, which, you can argue the legality of that. If that's possible, that's up for debate. But honestly, I think that this is all a good thing to see. The more conflict we get in this country, the better result we get in the end. The more we have a conflict, the more things get worse in this country, the better. And we need that at the end of the day. And the sad part, exposes how Black people are. It's sad, honestly. It would have been great if when Black people saw Chud, They just walked away. Like I brought up the guy in the beginning. It's great I brought up this guy on Instagram. I have to find his page for you. When he goes to white people and says stupid shit, they just look at him like, oh, what? And they walk away. He'll go up to Asians and say, huh? And they'll just walk away. But when it's black people, it's like, who you calling a nigga? And nigga, what the fuck? And we chimp out and it becomes a problem. And then we get situations like this dumbass who got shot. And I don't give a fuck if he's a veteran or not. People are like, he's a veteran and PTSD. And I would say, yeah, both
Didi, why
are
do you
dumb
do
in the
that?
situation, honestly. But who really fucking cares? I care about this, exposing the problem, because the problem we're dealing culturally as a people is far more severe than Chud, than the person that got shot. That's what I care about. When I see black people chimping out over a word, I ask myself, how do we become such enslaved to being entertainment pieces? How do we become slaves to being so emotional over shit? And that's the fucking problem. So really, we want to argue, oh, if he's going to go to jail, if he goes to jail, he goes to jail. If he gets out, he gets out. At the end of the day, it exposes something, a deep-rooted problem that we have in this country. And that's just what it is. I'm just going to be honest. That's just what it is at the end of the day.
Is it illegal to say?
Is it illegal to say? Of course not. It's not. But here's the thing. It's not by law. It's not. But guess what? Who makes it? Here's what the court. Hold on. Let me say what I'm going to say. What happens is that the courts, the media, everything will take the side of black people if someone does get killed or if someone does find themselves in these altercations. And there have been cases and stuff that has been documented for this. In the video I provided in the back chat,
doing it right now.
Let's talk about that. So, I mean, it's simple as that. The moment that someone says the N-word, a judge will look at that and say, well, because he said something that was racially, I didn't like that, and that's a no-no word, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure this guy gets prosecuted. The biggest example of that, George Floyd with Derek Chauvin. I think Derek Chauvin should be out. I don't think that Derek Chauvin did anything wrong, honestly, and what he did. But just, why he's in George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman got crucified, even though Trayvon Martin was a piece of shit, a disgusting individual, a shit stain on the black community, which is well documented even by black people. Guess what? We champion him as a hero. He's a hero to black people. This is the problem that we have at the end of the day. And like I said, the more we expose the rot within the system, the more we expose the double standard, truly we can be better as a society. So really, I like Chud. I've talked to Chud. Chud's a cool dude. We were going to collab a few months ago. I really like Chud. But if he goes to jail, I mean, guess what? It's on Chud. He did it. And it will set a legal precedent in this country that will expose a lot of shit. And that's all I can really say.
Tommy, did you want to speak before I go?
Yeah, it's really odd that you do that. He makes the point about Trayvon Martin and you're quick to defend him. You jump in to say, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened about his background. That's odd that you would do that. It's odd that you're quick to say that, both of these guys are assholes. It's not just Dalton. It's not just the other guy. It's both of them. It's really strange. Dalton never assaulted this dude, but this dude assaults him and you're quick to call them equal and defend the guy who's the criminal. And we're talking about how the media wants to defend the guy who is the lowest common denominator in society and will make a dual class, a secondary class of citizen, because so long as the laws don't have to apply, because we assume you can't understand them, you just don't know better. It's a really bad look. And it's especially bad for you personally to be doing that yourself here by saying, yeah, they're all, you're doing exactly what the media does and what Andre just described.
Tell me what I'm doing that is just like the media before I respond. I'm going to embarrass you, Tommy.
No, you're not. I could never be embarrassed. In the last 90 seconds, you just did that by talking to Andre and then trying to defend Trayvon Martin and then laughing hysterically like a hyena in your chair. It was not believable. When he said Derek Chauvin, hang on. When you said Derek Chauvin shouldn't be in jail, I'll be done in a second. When you said Derek Chauvin shouldn't be in prison, and Didi did his whole thing, I didn't buy that either. I don't think that was believable. So I think you're trying to sell this, and it's not believable. That you're trying to side with the aggressor and claim that they couldn't have known better.
I didn't hear him say that he defended Trayvon Martin. I didn't hear him say that at all.
Yeah, he under his breath, I'm listening to it here. He says it doesn't matter. When you said Trayvon Martin had a terrible you said he was a shit stain on society, terrible record, and he said doesn't even matter. He said,
I think he was saying that. I would take it this way. I think he was saying it's not relevant right now, which can be fair. It's a fair argument to make. He would say that's not relevant to the conversation and it pertains into today's politics. Okay. That's fine. I'll take that. Yes. But I'm saying, if we want to go into that, I mean, yeah, Trayvon Martin was a piece of shit. I mean, was not a fucking a hero at all.
Okay, but I misunderstood because all the evidence out that you were defending. Yeah. Just so we're clear.
So yeah, I don't think that he was defending Trey. I don't think, knowing and looking at his content, I don't think he would be the one to defend Trayvon Martin. I don't think I'm on
Thank
that
you.
side of YouTube right now. Okay.
You've
Well,
done your due
then we
diligence,
can
Andre.
just pinpoint
Andre,
to Derek.
thank you for doing your due diligence. I've made an entire video and documentary on Trayvon Martin. The story that the media put out was completely wrong, including who his girlfriend was, her age, his image. Like they use an image from like 5 years before his actual age to make him look more innocent. The guy was smoking weed and sipping lean and drinking all these things. To Andre's point, because
It was a whole movie.
he was actually
it was a whole movie
thinking
on it
here,
too.
all I was saying was it wasn't relevant here. No one cares.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I said I misheard you. The other point I made was Derek Chauvin, and that he shouldn't. Tommy? I'm telling you, don't interrupt. And Andre says Derek Chauvin shouldn't be in prison, and you laughed exactly like that, like you're trying to feign like you're having fun. So I'm going to ask you.
Maybe he was just laughing at what I was. I'm a funny guy. I think I'm a pretty funny guy. He was laughing at what I was saying. I don't know. You know,
I'm ready to respond. Tommy got to respond. Andre got to respond. I guess I don't get to respond. Tommy got to get it out. Okay, so I'm going to respond again. What I'm saying is, it's not relevant to this because a person can have a horrible past. If they walk into a grocery store, and I know that's not specifically the scenario with Trayvon Martin, but hear me out.
Oh, I thought we were done talking about Trayvon Martin. It was a clarifying point.
This man, he's at it again. Loose at the mouth, chimping out.
No, I'm telling you that you're going down a rabbit hole we don't need to discuss.
So he gets pow innocently in the grocery store. Who cares about his past?
Who cares about any of this?
Was he wrong in this particular scenario is all that matters. Let me give my thoughts before we digress too much on Mr. George Floyd. George Floyd had a counterfeit $20 bill. I think George Floyd would be alive. If we want to get on a deeper level, I think that was something completely different. I think that was a psyop. But let's entertain it on surface level. George Floyd would be alive, number one, if he didn't do drugs and he wasn't high. He would be alive if he didn't resist. What are you resisting for, bro? Chill. Stop saying you can't breathe well before they had you on the ground. Chill out. The reason why I laughed hysterically like a hyena, to Tommy's point, is because, number one, that's my character. I'm a very goofy person. I do it almost every episode. Pay more attention. Number two, because George Floyd, the reason why I laughed hysterically is because Andre said that he believes that Derek Chauvin should be out. I disagree. Do I believe that he should be serving life? That's a different conversation. He deserves time because he had his foot. I understand that it's debatable if it was on his neck or his shoulder blade. But if the man is telling you that he can't breathe, even if he said it before, the humanity in you, bro, just lift up off of him, put your foot on like the middle of his back, keep him on the ground. He disregarded the man's humanity, and the man lost consciousness and lost his life. You deserve time for that, 100%. And what makes it even worse is that you knew George Floyd on a personal level well before that day. Before we digress too much, let me just say with Chud the Builder, he has every right to say the N-word. It's not illegal. Why is he choosing to leave his house every day and walk up to people that don't make the laws? Let me say it to you and see how you feel about it, other regular citizen. Who cares? How about you go to Congress? How about you go to our legislators, the people who decide on our laws, and say it to them? They make the laws, not us. That's what I'm saying. He go out using racial slurs, which is not illegal. I'm not upset about that. But in conjunction with that, he is also threatening people. Tennessee law is really this simple. This video could have been over in 2 minutes. Tennessee law says you can initiate conflict, provoke people, and threaten them, and then claim self-defense. He's going to lose this case. What makes it even worse is that he's made premeditated statements on social media, letting people know ahead of time, don't worry about it, Tommy, I got you, my boy. Because I've seen your replies and your tweets. You've come off completely different to me. Let me put this up here. I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. Before anybody responds, remember this man is supposedly a Christian that follows Christ. We all know
I
that
would
this
say
man
the
is not a
same
Christian,
thing,
just like
honestly.
Nick Fuentes. That's cap.
Remember, the word of the day is disingenuous, and Didi showing you this and not the post that he was replying to when he wrote it is why you know that that's the word of the day.
All right, educate me.
The post that he was replying to, have you not seen it, or are you just showing this being ignorant
No.
or disingenuous? Which one?
I have not, because I'm seeing him respond to his own tweet.
Right. Well, the tweet that he wrote that to
Mhm.
was quoting a post about him and his location, saying series finale is when we kill Chud. That was essentially the gist of it.
Yep.
So he's responding using their language, saying series finale is going to be when one of you attacks me and ends up dead on the pavement. That's the context. So when you argued with me on the very first thing I said tonight, which was the framing that you've received Chud the Builder through has been wrong. You are right now guilty of it because you didn't show the entire context there, which would explain why he said it that way.
Okay. The difference between you and I, Tommy, listen to me closely. If what you just said
There are
is
a
true,
billion differences.
man,
Don't-
Tommy,
don't-
just listen to me, bro. Let the ego go. I don't care about your ego. Just listen. If what you
ahead.
just said is, my God, dude.
You can talk over him, but not me. Go ahead, dude. You
Hey,
can
Tommy,
do it. You can do
all
it.
I'm saying is, if what you just said is true,
It
I
is.
stand
You are. Go ahead. Go find it. I'll wait. We got
Did I
time.
walk
You
into
can just-
something like? Is there
Man,
like
I
some
don't know if
hidden
he's
lore I'm
14
missing
or
here?
if he's
What
much
the
older.
fuck
This
am I
guy's
missing?
extremely like immature.
What's
What I'm saying
going on
is,
here? Like I feel like I'm in the middle of the divorce or something. You know?
right. If what Tommy just said is true, I stand corrected. I apologize. If I'm Chud the Builder, I will respond accordingly as well. That's a fair statement. Tommy is not capable of doing that. I'm looking at Tommy's tweets and Tommy's replies all across Twitter, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? When I use the word disingenuous, I'm sticking with it because he's either
Wrongly.
disingenuous or ignorant.
That's
understand
not
that people's
disingenuous, though, is it? So you're just using the
tone
word
and
wrong.
Their life experiences shape the way that they feel about things. Andre, the similarities between you and I, bro, I'm just as fed up with the NIGGA portion of our community just as much. We all are.
You can't say
Niggas.
nigga. I can. Grow a pair of nuts, DD.
Say it, white boy. Say it,
Tommy,
nigga.
hey,
Say
Tommy. So I know you
Why
feel
don't you boot me so I
behind.
can
Hey,
go?
Tommy,
This is annoying to me.
I'm gonna let him stop. I'm gonna let him get finished before I respond.
No, this is why you're upset with my Twitter, because you followed it hauntingly and called all of the things I was saying disingenuous while you didn't know what the word meant. So now you know what it meant. Go ahead, respond.
The man told me what the word disingenuous meant on Twitter. I'm still using it now. Stop it, bro. Stop it. So I'm going to respond again. The difference is I'm not upset about him using the N-word. My thing is when I go to your Twitter, I'm watching you respond to certain. I know that people's skin tones, as I said, life experiences allow them to or does not allow them to have certain perspectives. When you say grow up here,
Wait,
because I don't.
so I just want to understand.
Stop
No,
speaking.
I'm
dude.
interjecting and I'm
Stop
interrupting you so that I understand you
speaking.
correctly as you go.
I
I
don't
want to
care.
understand you correctly.
Here's
Are
the
you
thing.
saying that race
having a
locks
pair
you
of,
into perspective?
having a pair, as you said, grow a pair, Didi. Say the N-word. I know you feel emboldened behind the character, behind the camera. Something tells me that you're not Chud the Builder in real life. I don't say the N-word because I don't use profanity, bro.
Okay.
I don't curse. I haven't cursed my entire life. That's why I don't say it. I don't say it because it's a word that has a history. It's not because it's illegal. It's not because I don't want to offend people. It's because I want to put out into the world.
You don't
what
have
I
to
would
explain
like
yourself to
receive.
me.
It's
Just
called.
let it roll off your back, dude.
No. How about that? I don't
need the lecture though. You can choose to use or not use whatever words you want, but just roll with it.
I follow Christ. So part of following Christ is that what comes out of my body is a reflection of who I am. Unlike you, there's a difference.
Oh, and
I don't
what way
think
is that?
cursing makes you a bad person, but I think the historical context of how curse words have been used, I refrain from using them, including the N-word that I used to use. Don't tell me what word to say. Again, you're not Chud the Builder in real life because you're not going to walk in a predominantly black area using that word.
I did tonight.
Oh, really? Where?
Here, right now, running on CP time, starting a little late.
Oh, dang. He's confident. How about in person, buddy?
I would, and I do it. Listen, anytime you like, because I'm a nice guy and I'm nice to everybody. Smart guys, dumb guys, niggas alike.
Do it on camera tomorrow, big dog. Walk into a predominantly black area. Become Chud the Builder.
I know I'm fortunate enough not to live in a predominantly black environment anywhere nearby.
What? Well, hold on. What do you mean by fortunate enough? All black communities are not the same.
I think you know exactly what I meant, but that's okay. You didn't know what I meant by framing earlier. You didn't know what I meant by context earlier.
I know
you don't know what I mean when I say disingenuous.
I know what you said.
What did I say? Tell me.
You know what I said. Trailer parks are predominantly white. Would you?
Yes, I don't live near those either.
But that is, oh boy, he don't get it. He don't get it. You're not following.
I understood what you were trying to say.
What's the law in Tennessee, my guy?
Which one of us are you asking?
Tommy.
Which law are you referring to? The law that's you can't have a Donkey Tuesday parade because we've seen that. Boy.
I just assumed you were able to follow the one about self-defense.
The one law in Tennessee about self-defense. Which is it, dude? Can you be a serious guy or ask a question and then or not? Take it seriously or don't.
It's embarrassing, bro. This is embarrassing.
For whom?
It's embarrassing. This conversation would you argue that words don't have meanings?
No, I think that words have meaning. We give them meaning and apply them,
Fair
and
enough.
then we use those words how we mean them.
Enough. Do you think they have power?
Depends on how and what context you mean that, but I would say colloquially, yes, words have power. That's why we use them.
No, we use them because they have meaning. What do you mean by power?
See, this is why I said earlier that the context in which you were asking mattered. Are we talking philosophy tonight, or are we talking about Chud having gotten a self-defense shot off?
Yeah, we're talking about the language that he's using. Do words have power?
Yeah. And they have meaning too, just to follow up. Like, what are you getting at?
Brother, I thought you would be able to connect like what you just did there. I don't. Andre, does words have power?
Of course. I mean, obviously they do. They have meaning. They have an epistemic framework, epistemology. I mean, yeah. Okay.
So if words have, I'm letting us sit in this for a moment because nobody's catching this. So if words have power,
I see where you're going with it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so if words have power, we can all agree that using certain words can provoke people, can antagonize.
I would say, and I'm glad you went this direction.
Yep.
Words have power in as much as we give them power. Certain words we don't use today that were used 100 years ago that have so much power and meant something, but now they're no longer in use, right? They're very antiquated. They're no longer in the used within the cultural zeitgeist, whatever the hell. So that's just what it is. I mean, if you give power to a word as an individual, as a community, as a collective, then it's going to have power within its existence at that time. Now, if we're talking about, are we just talking about the N-word, or we want to expand out to other things? If we're talking about the N-word, I think it's not in our interest as Black people to give it that much power. I think we should move on from it. I mean, is it going to be a word no different than bitch and nigga and fuck and all that? Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a naughty word, but if it has to have this much power to where people are losing their lives, and I'm not even talking about Chud or this case, I'm mainly talking in what I care about, Black people every day lose their lives over small shit like this. Agreed. That's a problem. We give too much power over it. So this is the problem that we're having. And this is why I'm saying at the end of the day, that's why I said I don't really care about the legality of it and all this other stuff, because it goes beyond that. We're talking on a cultural level, which is far more expansive. Laws are very temporal. Laws can exist for, the laws are not long lasting. Laws can be changed based on the feelings and the nature of a people and the power that they hold in order to change those laws. But culture is something that is carried on throughout generations. Culture is something that has to be, you have to either change it aggressively through force. It can change slowly. But when you have a culture that's so rotten and so unproductive, you have to really start asking the question of, and is it to our benefit to maintain the current culture for our existence?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just what I find odd is that I totally agree. It would be a lot easier room for some people people like Tommy to be in if it was a person taking the position of, you can't say that word. Nobody in this room feels that way. We all can agree. Not only can you or should you be able to say it, you can say it. It's legal. The difference is what Chud the Builder has been doing in conjunction. It's not like he's just sitting out in public and a person approaches him because he used the word they don't like. He can defend himself. Initiating people, like, I want to be responsible here. Tommy and I spoke just a little bit across Twitter with this. I saw some footage of a little bit of the scuffle that took place. I don't know if there's footage of the initial interaction. Is there footage of the initial interaction?
Not to my knowledge at the moment. That's all I know. From right here, not to my knowledge. I don't know if Tommy has something, but I haven't seen anything. I've seen from
Surely, I'm
there's like a
guessing
window
Tommy
video.
definitely has something because of the position that he's taking. He knows for a fact what happened. Hey, Tommy, what happened initially, and do you have proof of that?
If you're gonna be a shithead like that, you can just drop me and I can leave.
Bro, you came on like that.
I didn't. I started by telling you that I don't think the framing of this is correct, and you picked apart that as if you had a problem with the wording, and you didn't like that I said Andre is more mature than you're used to. You took offense to that instead of taking a laugh to it. So again, if you want to say like, oh, interrupting, if you want to say, hey, any room that that has a person who needs the word not to be said, that's a room Tommy needs to be in. Why do you do that? You know that I'm not that guy. I'm not the petty guy.
I don't know that.
I'm telling you, you've talked to me before. You've had no issue. And now you're acting hypercritical and hypersensitive. So I'm just going to give it back to you tenfold.
I'm not offended that you said that he's more mature than I expected. This is not a knock to Andre. I actually do not believe he's more mature than I expected. I knew how mature that he was. Respectfully to Andre, I think the language that he used is a sign of immaturity. I don't think that you're immature as a person, Andre, but I think the language, the reckless, how loose he is at the mouth is not a sign of maturity, respectfully to Andre. And I'm saying that as a man to Andre right here in his face.
But I respect your examination, but what's the problem with the language? What is it that you have if you do, if any, in any sense, what is the problem you see with the language that I use?
I don't think that, again, from a legality perspective, I don't think that it's illegal. I also don't think that it's necessarily a sin. It's just the scripture speaks about, because if I remember correctly, you are a believer. I may remember that wrong.
I'm a Christian. I believe that God exists. Yeah. But I take it this way. I don't think that the world revolves around us as humans in terms of the universal. I don't think that God is only focusing on us as we exist. I think this is our world, and our world is our representation, and we can do what we want in our world. But the universe is so vast and so expansive that if there is the possibility of other things out there, then God wouldn't be focusing on, the 8 billion people that are here, and as well as the other fauna that exists here on this planet. That's how I view it. I don't think that God is only focusing on us at all. I think it's kind of retarded for us to believe that as humans.
Like the word retarded, does the scriptures substantiate what you just said?
Scriptures are nice. I really don't really care about that. I focus on reality at the end of the day. I believe in God. I believe there is a creator. I'm focused on Christ. I believe Christ is king. But at the end of the day, I'm going to focus on my own existence and how things play out within my reality. That's all that matters. I care about the betterment of humanity. I care about the betterment of my nation, the betterment of my racial group. That's pretty much it. But I do believe there is a ultimate creator. I do believe there is a heaven. I do believe that Jesus Christ did rise and he is real. And did live on the earth and did die for our sins. But I'm not going to just sit back here and worship scripture all the time. I think the Bible's for women and children, honestly. I think that women or children are to read the Bible and men are to make the world in the way that they should. I think God gave us the world and will say, listen, you're going to do what you must with the world. And in the end, I will judge you based on your actions and go from there. I'm not a Muslim, not an atheist, none of that. I just believe in reality. I live and I exist, and I know what my existence is and how things are. And at the end of the day, I know that what I'm doing in my world, God will judge me for it, either praise me for it, or I'll be condemned for it. And that's up to him to decide. Simple as that.
Okay. I appreciate you for sharing.
I'll pray for you, Andre.
Yeah, I'll pray for him as well. I don't agree with that. But I respect him for being open about his opinions.
No, I like that you're very straightforward about everything you think. Thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't hide anything. I don't take offended if you don't like it, and it is what it is. But you can't say I'm not a Christian or I don't believe in God. You could say, well, he's
Well,
not.
you're by definition, the things you
Here's
just say, you're not a Christian. By
Well,
definition.
that's fine. You can have that interpretation. This is the problem we have with Christianity. We have so many denominations and so many different interpretations of the Bible. This is the problem that we have. I believe that hopefully, within the next century or so, Christianity falls into two sects. That we have, the Catholics. Hopefully, I think that they have more right and are more right in their way, have more foundation. And I was raised Catholic as well, went to Catholic school and everything, and I think they have more claim. But everything else, like most Protestants are retarded. Most of you got the retarded, Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons. Like these people are like goofy. Get these people out of here.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Catholics as well. But hopefully our faith comes together and is united. So that's how I'm looking at it. It's not that I don't believe in God. It's not that I don't believe in Christ. I want Christianity to form in a better way and come together. There's just too many dumb denominations out there. There's no point in believing any of it other than your own view of the world. That's all that matters.
Okay. I guess my biggest thing was here. There's no, I think, confliction between the three of us as far as the legality of what, or I should say, the morality around what Chud was doing, or maybe there is. We probably feel a little bit different about just the morality of it. But as far as if he has the right to say certain things, I think we can all agree on that. I'm asking what the law is in Tennessee, and I can't seem to get a straightforward answer other than I don't care or I don't know. I happen to know what the law is. I also read it to you all, and he broke the law by definition. It's not about how we feel. It's not about what we want. It's not illegal for white people to say the N-word. What Chud was doing was silly because it's not illegal. If it was illegal for white people to say it, I would understand his actions. Black people didn't make the laws. Why is he approaching random strangers that have more melanin than this, or just so happen to have more melanin than him, to see if he can upset them, to prove if that he have rights or not? Bro, your rights are there whether these random strangers or citizens approve of it or not. What are you doing here? Threatening people while making these claims is initiating conflict. It's against the law. It's really that simple.
I would say this.
The law.
I'll argue this as well. Don't people challenge the law all the time, and don't we create new laws because of the challenges?
Well, they challenge the law. That's true.
The current law?
But you can't create
a new law. I guess this is a case of this. Of course, you can't create a new law individually, right? You can challenge the law as an individual, and that will be argued in court, and that will set a new legal precedent going forward. This case will be, of course, landmarked and discussed in the future. Brandenburg versus Ohio is a landmark, freedom of speech case that people cite. That's from 1965. People still talk about it today. It's taught in law school 101 all the time. I mean, that's something that's brought up, and that, it's 1965. So, whatever happens from this will, challenge the current legal status quo in the country, and also the cultural status quo. And that's all I really care about. If what he did is illegal, will that be proven out in court, and it can be seen from those who are looking at it. But I just think that's this goes back to it. People want to talk about the morality. Who gives a fuck about the morality of it? It doesn't matter about the morality of the moral. No one cares about your morals in anything. What matters is if this is beneficial, if this is going to further my existence, is this going to survive? That's all that really matters at the end of the day. Survival, longevity, life. That's all that matters. The morality of it is just fucking gay. This is shit that the lefties do. They talk about the morals and they want a moral fag about everything, and it goes nowhere. And then the right is starting to do it too. And this is why it's becoming so gay. No one cares about the morality of things at the end of the day. People care about the existence of things and how long they're going to live.
What you just said sounded great, but I reject that. As a follower of Christ, we do care about the morality of things because moral or morality matters, right? Because God created morality. I will also say this. I don't have a problem with Tommy.
God didn't create morality.
That I saw from Tommy just disappointed me because he came off as a very fair guy when I saw him the first time. And it seems with this, he's only focused on, he has the right to say it and people shouldn't attack him for it. If it was only that, I'm totally with you, Tommy. You're rejecting everything else, all the other context, and I think it's bias that's allowing you to do that.
But see, I'm aware of the other context that you weren't privy to, and that is the guy was hunting him and stalking him down and created the initial assault that Dalton had to walk off of.
Which is why
I have, yes, and I'll pull it up here, but it's why I have that hard stance. And before you knew why I had the hard stance, though you could have asked, you didn't, you called me all kinds of things in the replies.
I only said disingenuous, bro.
There were a couple of other things there, but
Like
the
what?
point,
I
I don't have them pulled up in front of me, but you have your replies on your own profile.
disingenuous. That's all I said.
The point I'm making is I ended up knowing a little more. And you just said, if it's all it is him defending himself against being assaulted, then you agree. There's other context that you think makes him guilty. I don't believe that his stream from 3 days ago or his stream from 5 weeks ago or 5 months ago should be pulled into the courtroom and said, hey, jury, you need to know this is a guy who people have been hoping he would get shot for a long time. So the fact that he did the shooting instead and didn't get assassinated, that's a problem. We need to throw him away for 15 years. That's how the juries are going to see this. They're going to say, well, he deserves to go to prison for all these instigating problems. Here's our opportunity to do it. And if you don't realize that, then you're not familiar enough with the justice system today.
I'm not rejecting what you just said, the premise that you just created. What I'm stating is that was, again, I'm going to use a different word. That was misleading, bro. I noticed how you focused on the fact that they'll try to create this image of him based on his past. How about framing it this way? I'm going to use your word, framing it. Chud the Builder is known for harassing, antagonizing, and provoking people. He's known for... Is he not known for doing that?
No, see, that's what you're... So I want to stop this and say you're characterizing his actions in a negative and biased way that others would not agree with. And so I'm having to throw the flag on the field right now and say, you can't characterize and color his behavior as harassing when he is never been charged with harassment.
You don't have...
Yes, I'm talking about the legal terms that are in court. And when they have to characterize this person, his attorneys are going to say, if he had ever committed a crime or broken a law, he would have had a charge for it. He's never been charged for harassing any of these people, but they have been charged for assaulting him. So you can see the pattern of behavior. I suggest the pattern shouldn't matter. But when they enter it, what you should look at then is
patterns don't matter to you.
I'm saying to articulate the point, what I'm going to say is in a court of law, if what we're talking about is the charge, the crime that happened yesterday, the shooting that happened yesterday, the jury would only have their opinion and perspective of those two people tainted by seeing their past out of context posts that are not related to that day. So unless he's literally talking about tomorrow at court, after court, I hope I'm not ambushed, unless there's that video, then there isn't context related to the incident. So you'd only be negatively colored. This is why I say, let's think about Tyler Robinson. Would it be fair in the Tyler Robinson case to say, let's pull up all of his Boy Scout stuff and all of his high school stuff and make him look like a total A-lister and not and hide all of the other context? Because that would also be framing in the court. It would be wrong the same way to do it the opposite. So for Dalton, I don't think it's relevant, as you said earlier, to have a stream from 2 days ago where he's saying, I never want to have to shoot anyone. I never want to have to kill anyone. I never want to have to mace anyone. Those cans are expensive. I'm bleeding money. I need, like, that was a stream that he had. He says he gets on his knees every morning and prays to God. He never has to use force, lethal or non-lethal. And I saw that stream before this shooting. So I'm watching this happen out, play out in real time. And I believe when he says he doesn't want to shoot anyone. He knows that your life changes forever, assuming you could even get out of that charge, even if you were completely justified. And he knows this. So when you ask the first 5 minutes of the stream, what I think he's doing or what I generally think of his behavior, and I said I think it's a general good. I think it's a net good. I think what he's doing is moral, and you might not like it on its face, but I think, like I said earlier, he's marching a football down a field. And we need to get into the free speech end zone. And you're not seeing, someone teleport that ball down there and all of a sudden have a perfect society where all the words can be used by all the people and everyone has respect for one another and everyone's polite. But we're getting to that point.
You want a world where everybody's respectful to each other and polite, is what you're saying.
Yeah, of course.
Walking up, calling people the N-word with the hard R.
Good luck with that.
The intentions of provoking them. That's being respectful and polite.
That's not what he does. Now you're being disingenuous. He doesn't just walk up to people and scream the hard R at them.
Andre,
I can explain it in this way. So what we live in
Why
today,
lie
the
like
world
that?
we live in
That's a
today,
silly lie.
the America we live in today is that you have a double standard racially in this country where you can go up to anyone of any racial group, if you're black or if you're a minority group, and say whatever. Mainly if you're black, you can go and call people crackers, you can go say hunky, you can go call people chinks,
It is
gooks,
legal.
Arabs, all that. You can say all that shit.
It's
That is legal. But what we're saying is the social acceptability. It's not even about the law. We're not even talking about law right now.
That's
We're
what
talking about
matters.
the social acceptability culturally. Laws don't really matter at the end of the day because laws can be changed at the end of the day. Your laws, 100 years ago, the laws are very different in this country. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, laws were very different on this continent. If you want to consider many things going into that. Same thing within Europe and so on. Laws change all the time. Every century we have laws. Every decade we have laws that change. Now, when it comes to culture and how things are society and in terms of your society, that's something that it takes a lot to change. So we can sit back and talk about the laws, and that's fine. No one's saying that what he didn't do is illegal or illegal. That argument can be argued by the lawyers and in the courts. But what we're talking about is what is the utility of this? Is what Chud has done. What does it bring forward? What change is going to come from this? What is going to come after? That's really all that matters that we can discuss. The law is going to be debated amongst those who can talk about the law and to change those laws and to argue the precedent of those laws. It really doesn't matter to us. Who really cares? We can sit back and argue about it all the time. But it's more of the utility of it. What did Chud do and what did he push and what will be the consequences from him doing these actions? That's really all that matters at the end of the day. That's really all we can discuss. Now, we're going back and forth about the law. I don't see two lawyers in here. I may see two educated gentlemen who are probably well versed on the laws of the state, of course, federally. But at the end of the day, it's more productive to talk of what is the after effect, what's going to come after this. That's more I thought we were getting into, honestly.
Okay, well let's just say this then before we get off of here. If we're not going to discuss the legality of it, which again I just disagree with you, I think that is important. We are a country of laws. Yes, laws do change, but at this current time, I care about what the laws are. Did he break any laws in the process? Because this specific situation resulted in him powing another human being and himself. Crazy enough. And he's now being he's not being charged with attempted murder. Did he break any laws or did he not? My position is he clearly broke laws. If we were to stick on that, you all wouldn't have a foundation to stand on, respectfully, because it's easy law. It's just lose-lose. He clearly broke the law. If you're talking about the social acceptability of using the N-word, yeah, I agree. There's a double standard for sure. But nobody goes to jail for walking up using racial slurs. You don't go to jail for that. Black person, white person, Indian, Asian, it doesn't matter. So what Chud is behaving as if it's against the law. I don't have freedoms in this country. White men don't have freedoms in this country. No, I saw a reply from Tommy to somebody where somebody said something about how he's going to black neighborhoods or something. And I believe Tommy responded and said, they don't own the property or the land or something like that. What kind of response is that?
Well, the Post said, why does he go to black communities and do this? And I said, they don't own the community. They don't own public space.
Right.
They're sitting outside of a courthouse. It's not a black space. It's the opposite of a black space. You're never going to find black people hanging outside the courthouse. That's where the cops are.
Was that a joke?
Yeah, make it make sense, though. Okay. Why are they there? They're there because they're stalking him. Things you don't know.
Okay, man. Sure, I'm not going to digress with you.
It's not a digression. It's part of the case that you're ignoring. The guy that was there that got shot was stalking Dalton.
All right, can you show that to me?
Can you not find it? It's the
Tommy.
It's at OG Icy on X. That was the account.
Tommy, I haven't seen it. You have, brother. Just show it. You can show your screen, and I'll put it on the screen.
Got it. Well, the first link that I have for you, actually, I sent you like 40 minutes ago. That one was up there. That one was the link that I was quoting Nick, and then you played something different.
Okay, back. Pulling up now.
Didi, are you a Nick fan? Are you a Nick fan?
I don't like the word fan. I'm not a fan of any human.
He's a Nick
Fan of
stan.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
But to your point, do I like things that Nick says? Heck yeah. Do I hate things that Nick says? Yes. Do I think Nick Fuentes is a hypocrite? And I think he says things just for shock value. Yes, I think he does that a lot. I also think that Nick Fuentes is not a real Christian. I also think that Nick Fuentes is actually gay.
You're right on a lot of those.
Yeah, I think that Nick is a fucking faggot, and I think he's losing his utility. And like,
I
I'm
like
getting
how we
tired
can
of
just
saying
find
that.
something to agree with.
Yeah, listen, okay. I mean, yeah, I don't really give a fuck about Nick like that. He's been standing in the way of any progress on the right for the last, I would
he
say
said
last
vote
5 years. He's been
Democrat.
doing a lot of great. I mean, the voting Democrat shit is not bad. It's just retarded. It's like, you're going to vote Democrat for what? The option should be not to vote, or vote for candidates that are going to be aligned with your interests. Who fucking cares about voting at this point? Voting does not matter at this point. Don't vote. Don't engage in the system. Don't pay into it. Well, of course, don't do anything illegal to where when I mean that, but don't sit back and play the game.
This isn't what you were talking about, were you, Tommy?
No, this is the link that I was talking about before, and this is probably the first 3 minutes of it is all that I was referring to earlier when you asked me about
Do you want
Nick.
me to play this, or you want me to go to the next one?
No, you can play this.
All right.
I didn't share that other link. That was Andre.
Go down. I see what happened. And I just want to say at the outset, I do not want to pile on because this guy seems like he's having a lot of problems. And I saw a clip yesterday, seemed to be having some kind of a breakdown, crying, saying that his ex-wife wants to change their son's name because she doesn't want to be associated with him, and saying that his parents don't talk to him, and he's being confronted in public. And I guess he was apprehended by the FBI at some point this week, where they took his devices, interrogated him. He's unable to access his accounts because they deleted his Google Pass, his authenticator app. So he's been having a lot of problems. I don't want to pile on. It's obviously an unfortunate situation. But I do want to say that this just so typifies the kind of behavior that I have been trying to tell you for a long time is not going to lead anywhere productive or beneficial to anybody.
Thank you.
Not to the movement, not to us, not to anybody.
You want to pause this?
And I've seen a lot of people today on Twitter.
He has not been saying this for a long time. He has been doing it for a long time, for like 10 years, doing exactly what Chud is doing, but from the comfort of his own basement, never having to risk it in front of actual real people.
Not the same thing.
You're right. It's far more cowardly. He's doing this safely, securely, making his bones, making his career, making millions of dollars, using the N-word and other language that he is now chastising and belittling and diminishing Chud for doing, and saying how it's so stupid and low IQ. How dare he?
That's
what
not
he's
what
doing.
he's ridiculing him for, though, Tommy.
That's what he's
It's
doing.
funny to hear Nick talk about this is like low IQ. It's like, you can't make nigger jokes, but we can make Holocaust jokes every day. Let's talk about ovens all day.
Yeah, it's hypocrisy.
Come on, pick a fucking leg.
It's
you know?
hypocrisy.
It's-
But
the goofiest
here's the thing
in the
with
world.
Tommy. Here's the thing with Tommy. Earlier, Tommy, I don't know if he thought I would forget this. He says that Nick Fuentes is a hypocrite because he's now talking about he doesn't want to pile on. Well, this doesn't help your argument, Tommy, because he's literally stating he doesn't want to pile on to Chud. He's choosing not to go too hard on Chud.
Yeah, you're a minute into 6 minutes, and it's all he does is pile on. So the tag is he doesn't want to pile on, and he's doing it for 6 minutes, bud. That's what I'm saying. You're missing the irony there, but that's okay.
That's fair, but all I would say is I don't know what he's about to say, but sometimes when people say they don't want to pile on, they just mean like they're going to give a little bit of pushback, but they're not going to go all the way in.
Twitter try to make this guy out to be a martyr. And they're saying, well, blacks are violent and we have a civil right for free speech and to say the N-word and all these kinds of things. And I want to say, that's not a martyr. What is actually the objective? What are we trying to achieve here?
Right.
First of all, you're an IRL live streamer, so that means you are out in public with a camera streaming. And let's be honest, I'm a live streamer, so I know, and I've done IRL streams with other people before. When you are an IRL live streamer, you are looking for altercations. You are looking for interesting things to happen. It always necessarily lends itself to problems and drama. And in many cases, yes, fighting. You know about Clavicular. Clavicular is another huge IRL live streamer. Every other week, it's something similar.
Right.
He's being arrested. He's shooting an alligator. He's getting in a fight with a girl. People are pulling up on him in the street. He's getting choked out. It's always like that. That is what happens when you are an IRL streamer. It never goes anywhere other than that.
I don't know if he's piling on. He's telling the truth here. I mean, it's just the truth. It's not even a knock at Chud. It's if you go out into public as an IRL streamer, we all know controversy sells, right? When you go out and you're approaching strangers, saying things to people who aren't bothering you, and then you continue to pile on, like the video of him talking to the security guard guys. He calls the security guard guys like, don't chimp out, walks off, get back to work, N-word. Fair. He's fair to say what he wants. I mean, he's free to say what he wants. What's the purpose of doing that? Just trying to get a reaction out of them. Most people he's approached that just so happen to be so-called black people, they don't even give him what he wants. That's the ironic thing here. They say, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to provoke me, bro. It's not going to work here. That's what most of them say. You're going to take...
Provocation's already been from them responding. That's kind of already existed. Once they respond with, I'll beat your ass, or you're a bitch, and cracker this, cracker that, that's usually the response he wants. Now, I'm going to say, I don't think that anyone, period. I don't really care about Chud and him per se, but anyone wants to be in a situation where they have to take someone's life or to do this because of a word or whatever. I think that Chud, yes, is going out for content, of course, to expose, look at these niggers, they can't fucking act straight. Look at these niggers. He's doing that. And he gets to respond, niggers are chipping out, walks off. Look at these niggers chipping out with the camera.
Following
now,
them,
when nigga comes up behind him, and wants to fight and escalate, then that does become a problem because they're giving this power into the word. Is it dumb for him to go outside and do this? Yes, of course. I can agree on that. However, what is even dumber is you responding to a word and trying to meet it with violence. Like he just, said, I'm going to kill. It's not like Chud went up to these people, you're a nigger, I'm going to kill you. And, I want to start this shit with you with the intention to kill. It's more, I'm going to say the N-word. And then their response is, I'm going to kill you. And like I said, this is what black people do every fucking day with one another. And that's the shit that I don't like. I hate that. That's something that happens all the time.
Totally
we do this shit with each other all the time. That's what I'm saying. That he's lucky that he's white, because him being white, he's not going to get killed as fast. If he was black, like I said, he'd be fucking done. It'd be over.
Hey, Andre,
but
look.
There is a problem in this country with a double standard.
I think you're going to appreciate this. Look.
What's up?
Love with
Oh,
that
sorry.
That white boy Chud that's going around Mason niggas.
I love this nigga.
Pick up my hat, nigga.
Can you see it?
What you looking at? You chimping out,
I
nigga?
can't see it, but I know the video. I've heard it.
Chud.
This little one-eyed Willie.
Chud, because you know what Chud is showing everybody? Black people are cowards. You can spit on them. You can call them niggers. They won't do nothing. But if another black person says, what's up? Yeah, nigga, what you looking at? They'll kill him. If another black person does the things that Chud is doing, white people can go back to mistreating black people. I swear to God. And black people ain't gonna do nothing but take it. Man, you know what's scary? They letting him walk around and stream it. Don't y'all walk around streaming and video recording us kicking each other ass? What's up, nigga? So what's wrong with Chud? What's wrong with Chud? I've never heard of him. I have, and I love him. I love a white man that'll look at one of you ass niggas and say, what the fuck are you staring at, you monkey nigger? And now you're a nigger. White man can't ever call me a nigger. We got one that's doing it, y'all. I haven't seen one crash out, nigga. Now,
bingo. The only reason this would be appropriate or necessary to make a video on is if it's never happened. Yeah, people spit on him. I don't condone that. But nobody's ever actually full out attacked this guy in this regard. All the people that he's approached, what does that tell you? I think it buys into the percentages that you've spoken about, Andre, which I don't know if your percentages are exactly accurate. I don't know what.
What are your percentages? Give me yours. I would love to hear someone
I
else
don't know.
speak. What's
I
your
like to be
percentage?
responsible. And another thing is, I don't have the categories that you have. You got Negroes, you
What
got
for?
N words with the A, N words with the hard R. All I'm saying is, Charleston White will make a video like that because no one was doing anything to him but arguing with them. I wouldn't even argue with them. All right, bro, I'm going to pray for you. You're clearly in a place in your life where you need attention or you need prayer. I'm going to walk off. It's fine. Whatever, bro. Nobody should be harmed for using a racial slur. But when you're using a racial slur, this is why I disagree with you, Andre. You say it's not like you walking up and saying N-word, I'll unalive you. You don't have to say that legally, because again, it matters from a legality perspective. It matters. You walk up with something in your hand saying N-word this and get back to work, N-word. And they're saying, bro, why are you saying that? Chill out. Shut up, N-word. And back up. Don't walk up on me. I'm going to mace you. Oh, he got mace. He's going to mace you. Well, I got something else too. I'll blow your head off. You can't initiate the conflict in Tennessee and then expect to claim self-defense. My only purpose of this is to argue, did he have a right to do what he did? No.
So did he have a right to do what
no.
he did in terms of the courthouse, or are we talking about overall everything? Because now we kind of come back to the conversation. Are we talking about the shooting, or are we talking about him in general? Because those are two different things at this point right now. Because when I take it, and Tommy, maybe you can hop back in and have a conversation. From when I take it at the courthouse, he was not streaming. From what I reckon, he was not streaming. He did record because of the altercation, and he was jumped by this guy and attacked by that guy. That's two different things. Now, if somebody, I'll take this. I call niggas, and I say a whole bunch of shit about black people on social media, right? I go down to the club on the weekend. I go out to clubs. I go out to fucking bars. I'm downtown Detroit all the time. I'm always outside. And I've had people come up to me, not hostile to where they want to do something, but I know they don't like what I do. And they'll go and initiate a conversation with me. Now, if somebody decides to do something to me, and I'm sitting there doing nothing and just kind of, doing my own thing, they can sit back and say, like, well, he says these things about black people and it's offensive. And I pull out a gun, hopefully this doesn't happen. I pull out a gun and shoot him in defense of my own life. You can't really make the argument. Well, he goes out and he says these things, so therefore it's justified in him getting the charges or this happening to him. That shit's that's kind of retarded to even suggest that. If this was a case of Chud was out there and saying a bunch of shit like he normally does streaming, then yes, I would sit back and agree with what you're saying. Like, okay, this is a problem. If he's coming out the courthouse and he's doing his own thing, and some guy comes up to him who, as it has been seen over social media, that this guy's been following him, has already had this, people have been telling, like, hey, go out and find this guy. He's been tracking with the intention to do harm. That does fall on the side of this guy, not Chud. Chud defending himself, shot at him. Everything else is kind of, that'll be secondary to the case. Could be added for, we found discovery, like, okay, Chud does this. He's known for doing these things. But did he do it in this instant? Did he do it on the day that he shot this dude? If he didn't, then it's completely out of it.
I agree, Tommy.
And so if we're arguing about it in whole, then fine.
The evidence for that. I want to see that that's what happened.
Yeah, it's in your chat.
Okay.
It's in the studio thing here.
All right, 9:53. All right, I'll pull that up. Okay.
No, it's the x.com from like 10 something. It would have been just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I think that's 9:53. It's only 10:05. On my end, it's 10:05.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So
an hour behind me here. That was the problem. Yeah, that's Charleston White.
I see Charleston White. Oh, I don't know. This is StreamYard for you. Let me get that down. Let me see. This here. Now,
yes,
can y'all see it? Is this it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. The black guy shot by Chud was haunting him. Okay. Let's see here. Never break. We getting closer to the series finale. Justin Chud, the builder, fears for his life and calls the police when surrounded by several black people at the gas station. I'm surrounded by N-words. You near my city? Should I go? Okay, so what am I looking at here on this one? I'm not
So
sure.
you see the first post there. That's we're getting real close to the series finale.
That's the guy.
This is a post, right? And then the person that's replying to them, OG Icy, that is who they believe is the person who was shot.
Oh.
He is now tagging and jumping, going, he's reposting the series finale saying, watch out for the series finale. And then replying saying, he's in my city. Should I go do it?
Okay.
And so Chud replied saying, series finale is going to be when one of you chimps ends up dead on the pavement, referring to that guy saying he had his address and was going to go shoot him. So you see the full context is they're barking at each other back and forth online. And now Josh waits for him outside the next day at the courthouse.
Okay. Do we have maybe I missed it. Did Dalton respond in this thread here?
It's in that other, I don't know that she screenshotted it, but his reply, the one that says the series finale, the one that he had quoted and that you pulled up earlier.
Yeah.
This is the full context of it.
Okay.
So he's replying to the dude who's telling him prior to it for days leading up to this. You're nearby. You're in my city. I'm going to come do it, referring to killing him.
Okay. Well, Tommy, maybe you're redeemed here, bro. I'm going to say this. If that is the context and if that is the actual guy, completely different scenario. If that guy went to haunt and find Dalton, regardless of what he's done in the past, you can't approach a person because you don't like what they stand for. Harass them, which is the only point I've been making about Dalton in this video. If this guy went and did that, I stand corrected. I was not aware of that. If that's what truly happened. I will also say, in the same sense, to be responsible, I still don't know if that's what happened. I see a couple of tweets here. I see some replies. I see a guy asking, should I go do it?
And the niggas in the chat are like, no, that's not him. That's funny. Apparently, Chud was at the courthouse for a civic reason, for, a little petty shit that was going on.
There's a lot of white people in the chat, bro, saying that, bro.
No, I'm seeing it. I've been tracking the niggas. I've always tracked niggas. I have a nigga radar. My nigga,
you have a black person radar or an N-word radar?
I have a niggar. My niggar finds all this stuff.
Andre, but you don't know if they are or not, right?
Based you can tell by the way they type, when they text.
Here.
The niggas, no, there's no hypocrisy with me. We're consistent with everything. You can tell a nigga from the way they type. When they start typing like niggas, no, I'm not a hypocrite at all. I stand on that 1,000%. I was raised in a household not a hypocrites for people who always speak with reason and they stand on what they know. And that's how it's always been.
Pride.
It's always been. I can tell you that. That's how it's always been. I can go get my family. We can talk to you in the same way. We all talk the same.
Yeah. Anyways, if that turns out to be the guy though, and he went to hunt out, and I also saw that someone put an address to Dalton's house, but it turns out that the guy found Chud at the courthouse.
Right. Yeah. So the way that looks to me, and hear me right, like I could be wrong in what I have read, which is that's the guy, right? I didn't do the finding of that data, right? So somebody else took the screenshot, but I'll say, it looks like he has been fielding replies for weeks of people, in his, not just DMs threatening him, but in the replies publicly, taunting him, saying, we know where you are, we know where you live, and we're going to go get it done. So when someone standing outside the courthouse, and you heard the video, right? Because I can find you the link of him talking to the paramedics, where he says he walks out of the courthouse, he's recording, people begin pointing and laughing right outside the courthouse. So he asks them, what's up? They then tell him, go away. They don't want any of the chimp out stuff from him. And that the guy says, I have PTSD. I will attack you and swing on you if you pull that shit with me. So Dalton begins to walk away. And then the guy, what we see is the video begins at that point. So the other context that I have, and having watched him and having heard his stream the other night saying he doesn't want to shoot anyone, doesn't want this to happen. He's going to court on a $3,000 credit card that he didn't pay. Like it's really petty shit. And then he gets jumped outside the courthouse. That's the context that I see it in. So that's why I'm coming in heated. Like he has every right to do this. And it's not even related to the other videos he's done. It's that he's being picked off because of that.
It literally is related to the other videos that he's done, because that would be other people's motivation, which would make them in the wrong. Let's be clear, but that makes it related. But also, it's very strange that you're painting him as this victim and this harmless person when this man has created the worst reputation for himself. But let's follow along with that. You went along with an audio of Dalton talking about what happened, which in my opinion, based on his reputation, I don't believe he's been honest. I think he's been halfway honest. Matter of fact, I'll play it.
That's
and
fair.
It's like all of a sudden you believe him because of one stream you heard him say about, I don't want to shoot somebody. What about all the streams where he was antagonizing people that was just trying to go on by their day? What about those streams? 87 streams you ignore
Didi,
for
what
one
I told
stream
you,
where all of a sudden he says he don't want to hurt somebody.
What I told you at the beginning when you asked about what I know of him and what I think of him is what I told you. What I have seen, I haven't seen him do those things. I've never seen him walk up to someone who he had no interaction with and had never no contact with before and begin to be the aggressor. You and I have a different understanding of what the word aggressor means, apparently, because when he goes and asks a person, do you believe in free speech? And they respond, and he has a conversation with them, and they then physically react to one of the words that was said, they are the aggressor every time. That's everything that I've ever seen on his streams.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter about the other streams. In this case, on this day, he was pursued by these other people outside the courthouse, which had nothing to do with live streams. He wasn't doing a live stream, and he was attacked because of something he did in the past, but still doesn't give that person the right to go and attack him based on his content, based on something he did a week ago or 2 weeks ago or 24 hours ago. If he wasn't doing that in that moment, then the guy who went out and did it isn't wrong. And for him to be charged with attempted murder for standing his ground, against someone who attacked him is this is why people are saying he should be free, because it doesn't make any sense. Why is he being charged with attempted murder? And, we can argue about the stand your ground laws and whatnot. But if someone comes up to me with the intent to do harm because I make content and I shoot them to defend myself, I shouldn't be charged. That's how I view it. If someone comes up to me now, I have people who come up to me all the time and say they love what I do or they recognize me and they want to do something to me, I should be able to defend myself from those people, regardless of what I do on the side.
Totally agree. I don't think that's what happened here, just based on his interactions with most people I've ever seen him interact with, which I'm not saying that Tommy's lying. I'm just going to say it this way. I find it very extremely strange and surprising that somehow he's seen different videos from Chud the Builder than what I've seen. I've seen a lot of his stuff. The definition of aggressor. An aggressor is a person, group, or nation that initiates a conflict, attack, or hostility. It refers to the party that strikes first or provokes a fight, making them primarily responsible for beginning the altercation. That's the definition of aggressor. It's not always meaning physical.
So the black people would be in the aggressor part because they're the ones saying that I will beat your ass, or no, you can't say,
I think that's in some scenarios. That's not most of Chud the Builder scenarios.
I would say 90%. I would say 90%. If we want to, I don't think we have all time to go watch, hundreds of hours of Chud's content. I don't think you've watched hundreds of hours of Chud content. I don't think Tommy has.
I watched like 30 of them.
Okay, you watched 30. I followed Chud for a minute. I don't think I've watched 30, maybe a little bit under 20. But from what I've seen, I think a lot of the popular ones that everyone have seen, it's black people come up to Chud who like Chud. And I like what you do. And remember the black girls came up to him. I was like, the nigga got some hoes. Oh, shit. It was funny to watch. But that's how it is.
He's very entertaining.
So if I'm having a conversation with someone and I say, you guys believe in freedom of speech? Yeah. Okay, can I say nigger? No, and they get mad. It's like, why can't I say nigger? And they start getting mad because I'm saying nigger, and they want to escalate it to, well, fuck you, white boy. Well, here's the thing: is they're escalating.
Andre, you're exaggerating. That's not most people's
I'm not exaggerating. It's not exaggeration. That is mostly the response from black people when someone white says nigger. What is the 99% response that black people are going to have? They're going to say, you can't say that.
Not what the response he's gotten from most
and with Chud the Builder, yes, 1000%. And as people like DJ, hold on, I'm not lying at all. I don't lie. I stand on what I believe. When it comes to people like DJ Academics or NLO Chopper, that fucking faggot, the retard, they have been putting out like, hey, go find this person. Hey, we need to find this person. Here's what these people do on Black Twitter or on Black TikTok. They'll sit back and put out your information and tell people you need to go find this person. They do this shit with me. I have this shit all the time. I can show videos of that. I'm not talking about Asian people. We're talking about black people. We're not getting into the Asian people. Doesn't matter. We're talking about black people. We're talking about black people.
All
No
people
one
do
cares
that.
about that. We're talking about black people
Andre, but you're saying it as
predominantly
if
do
it's
that in the
unique to
second.
this community. All people do that.
It is.
All across
It's very
Twitter.
unique to this community.
A black
per
person did
capita,
that
it's unique
to
to this
me
community.
today. I woke up with my old home address posted today because of
And
this
that's
incident.
not fair. I don't condone that.
Yeah.
But to say that black people do that,
Most of the doxing I've had has come from black people. I don't have white people coming to me like I have white liberals who'll get in there and say, you're a coon and you're a race traitor, but I don't have them trying to dox me. I have black people, Africans. I'm going to find your family. I can show up videos that have gone viral of black people. This is where a family
Yeah, Andre, you're not being
like
honest.
his family. I'm being very honest. I can show you videos of what I've had. What are you talking
No, I'm
about?
not saying
I've
that's
had
not
videos
your
go viral.
experience, bro. I'm not saying you haven't experienced that. I'm saying
I'm not being dishonest
all
about anything.
communities
PD.
have done
I'm
that.
very honest. We're not talking about all communities. This is the same
I
argument
am.
people bring up when we talk about black crime. This is the same argument that black people bring up. Well, everyone commits crime. No shit, everyone
That's
commits
not my
crime.
argument
We're
here.
talking about the propensity for people to do this more so in this situation.
Yes, and what
We're talking about in this specific situation, black people are more inclined to threaten you over a word than white people or Asians or Arabs or anyone else. That's what we're looking at, and that's the conversation we're having.
No,
we're not
that's
talking
not the
about if everyone
conversation
does
we're
it
having.
universally.
We're talking about if black
So what's the
people have
conversation that we're
higher
having?
propensity to dox you. That's the conversation we're having, and that's not true.
No, initially we're talking about meeting and having a response to a word and their actions to that. When it comes to doxing, black people will go on social media, in this case, have gone on social media to put out people's information the moment they say the N-word. There's tons of Twitter accounts, tons of Instagram, TikTok, where they put out people's information if you are racist, if you are a bigot, if you are having these right. And this is something, because I've been on the right a very long time, and they do this shit. Niggas will do this shit. The moment you say something against the nigga community, niggas will come out in force to make sure that you are silenced, especially if you're black and if you're fucking aggressive like Chud is with his whiteness and how he is being a pompous white man who doesn't care. They will do it too. They don't give a fuck. And that's the problem. And this is why we're in this situation. Niggas have no self-control. Niggas have no humility. Niggas can't sit back and just move on. Everyone, if you want to go into everyone else does this, everyone else in the world doesn't respond to one word and has to chimp out and has to kill each other and kill other people over it and wants to put money. Like I said, you have rappers, these fucking soft ass rappers. We need somebody to go kill him, somebody to go do something to him, encouraging and pushing this message to their followers that someone needs to do something because someone said a word. Not that he raped children, not that he murdered somebody, not that he hung someone, got away with it, but simply because he said one word and makes money from that. That is the fucking problem that we have today.
I agree with everything you just said about him using the word. Not what the conversation is about. We can just agree to disagree on the whole point about if there's a higher propensity for the black community to dox people. Don't buy that. Never been a huge thing in the black community. I disagree. The example you gave about this is what people say when you bring up black crime. No, you and I agree more likely on the black crime statistic. Even though I think there are a lot of misconceptions about it, you and I can agree that the crime in our community is extremely out of control. I don't want to hear anything about other communities. Our community is out of control, 100%. We have the emotional immaturity on a level unlike another community that I've witnessed where we react to words 100%. Not the conversation, though. We're talking about doxing people. What you just said, I don't subscribe to that. But anyways, it doesn't really matter.
I'll say this. When we talk about people's houses getting shot up and people going to people's neighborhoods, I'm going to spin the block and shoot some. We're talking about doxing. You're putting out someone's information with the intent to do harm. Black people do that a lot. People's houses get shot up a lot in the black community. That is a form of doxing. You put out people's information on the internet. You share that information with individuals who will go out and do that. That happens a lot. There's rap songs made about it, movies made about it. It's put all throughout culture. It's something that is common in the black community. Now, if you're talking about some little fat nerd playing D&D and World of Warcraft, I'm going to dox you. Yeah, they do that too. But niggas will dox each other all the time to get a hit or to kill someone.
I don't witness that.
I'm not talking about gang members. I've witnessed that all the time, especially since I've been doing content. They will put that shit out all the time. There's other black content creators who will sit back and talk about it as well, who've experienced it and doing the same thing. People do this extensively in the black community. Like I said, from the music, from the movies, it's not even just gang violence. When black people don't like each other, we put out people's information because we want to do harm to them. We do more harm to each other than anyone else does to each other. It's not just gang violence. It's not just relegated to gangs. At the end of the day.
Andre, you're strawmanning me, bro. I'm not saying that the crime comes from gang members. I'm talking about specifically spinning the block and pulling up on somebody's home. That's predominantly with gangs,
well, that's
bro.
that's not a predominantly with a game thing. That's a very common thing with a lot of black people who are not involved with gangs, but have this gang-like mentality that have this. Yes, it very much is culturally. Yes, it is. It's put in the music, put in the schools. Yes, it is.
And also putting something in movies. We know who run the music industry. We know who run the Hollywood industry.
We can't blame the Jews on everything. This is a low IQ anti-Semitism.
I did not say
kind of like
bro. Stop with the everything thing, Andre. I didn't say everything.
I'm going to say this. You're like, well, you're bringing it up. It's like, well, we know who runs the media. Like, yeah, I get that. But guess what?
Bro.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, DD. Here's what happens. We have black people who are aggressively push this far more than the Jews. The Jews just collect the check. They just collect the check and like, oh, you guys are going to do that? That's great. We'll see you guys Monday. Just make sure Ezekiel knows. Black people aggressively will go and recruit these people and push it and make money and profit off of it. That's the real enemy at the end of the day. Jews, 1,000%. Yeah, I know what they're doing. They're the puppet master. But these fuckers running around who run these record labels, who are aggressive with it, who are in cities like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, all over, they're the ones pushing this poison and glorifying it and reinforcing it. And it goes into the schools. It is reinforced in the household. It's put out in the music, in the movies, because guess what? We profit off of it and we glorify it and we accept it. And you and I both know this. Long before we meet a Jew, we'll meet a black. We'll meet 10 blacks. They'll be pushing it aggressively long before the Jew does.
I agree. But
all he does is collect the check.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Andre. But hear what I'm saying. The point that I'm making is the so-called black, the portion of the so-called black community that do not push that. They're not accepted into Hollywood. They're not allowed to make movies that are not about that. It's the people that are aggressive that are accepted and promoted and elevated in Hollywood and the music industry. So it's a misconception. I'm not arguing if it's predominant, if it's out of control in our community, not the argument I'm making. The argument I am making is the level to which people see it in Hollywood is still a misconception. Two things can be true at the same time. They're not going to allow people like you and I to come into Hollywood.
I hear what you're saying, of course, obviously. What I'm saying on the ground level, in terms of the community, on a city and regional level, just black people. Hollywood and what's on Broadway and what's coming out of the film industry, that's a very small circle. And that's something that's like the 1%. 99% of it is coming from these cities, and it's coming and reinforced within the community. And it's pushed aggressively. Like I said, before you meet the Jew who does it in Hollywood, you'll meet 10, 20 other black people who are pushing aggressively on the ground and reinforcing it within the household and on the streets and on the block. And that's what it is.
For sure. All right. Anybody have any, Tommy, you have any last words, bro?
No, it's been a pleasure. I always love talking with you, and it's been a nice night. So I appreciate you having me on.
Heck yeah, man.
Andre, I'll pray for you. I'm sorry to lose a Catholic brother. I hope we'll get you back into the church soon.
I'll pray for you as well.
You didn't lose me. You guys didn't lose me. Like, I believe it's just, it's my thing. Come on now. You didn't lose me. I'm still a Christian. I'm still a believer. I just have my own beliefs as well. Catholics most certainly are Christian. Historically, they're probably the most Christian out of them all. Historically. Okay, fine.
Yeah, we got to debate that next time. I meant that literally, but as far as the statement in itself, but I meant it also tongue in cheek, as in not to disrespect you, Tommy. I just don't believe that Catholicism is of Christ. We can debate that another time.
It's not even a debate for me to have. You're arguing with the church.
Fair. I think it's an easy argument to make. Very easy. But this is what I will say. I'm very interested and curious to see how this is going to play out, specifically with Chud the Builder. My guess is going to be, yes, it depends on the attorney he gets, the legal angle that they decided to pursue. But I specifically do not believe he will be able to overcome this, personally. So, thank you all for coming on. Andre, do you have any last words, man?
Oh no, it's great to be on. I love this was our introduction. It's been we've spoken over the past few months and past few weeks, so it's good to finally get
You
in
got to check
contact
your
with you
DMs more,
and be up
bro.
here. Yeah, listen. I check them and then I don't check them. I'm sorry. All right, my apologies. I'll say that publicly. My apologies to you for not checking it. But I'm glad that we had this conversation and coming on. So I appreciate you and your show.
Heck yeah, let's next time you all are on, if you decide to come back on, let's sort of find something that we agree on, and we can sort of try to push a positive agenda. I think that was the purpose of this as well, but we just happen to disagree on here on this particular topic. So I'll catch you gentlemen next time. You have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you next time. All righty. Thank you for the $5 super chat. His speech incites violence, so it's not covered by the First Amendment. It's literally the law. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. You can't walk up to people with pepper spray and a weapon on your waist, telling people what you'll do to them if they walk up on you. You're provoking people. You can't. I mean, argue with the law. If I walked up to different grown men every day and called them a bitch and I get beat up, I can't go to court and claim self-defense. It's a fact. It also depends on the state that you're in, but typically speaking, it's a fact, especially if you're turning on a camera and you do IRL. It's not going to end well for him. I don't care about your feelings about white men or white people can't say the N-word in this country, and I'm sick of it. We should be able to say it. Fine, feel that way. Not exactly what's going on with Chud the Builder. It's a little bit more complex than that. Ellie, thank you for the $10 super chat. Didi, you are correct. As a legal owner of several guns and military affiliated state laws is the first thing we look at every time we PCS. That's gun owner responsibility 101. That's all I'm saying. William said that. What's up, William? I ain't seen you in a while, bro. Thank you for the $2. Are we watching another division psyop? Yeah, man. Thank you, Fiona, for the $5 super chat. I feel like I'm seeing the effects of the division psyops playing out in real time. Both of these guys are flip-floppers and are using strawman arguments. Thank you for the $5. I felt like Andre was strawmanning me at times, actually quite a few times, especially when it came to the Black community. I mean, I'm very critical of our community. I think it's completely out of control. I think we glorify degeneracy. I think we glorify all the same things. I think part of the reason why it's pushed onto us is not necessarily our fault, but we are responsible for us and the actions that we choose to engage in. And I think it's out of control. And I think it's the worst of any community in America that I've seen from an ethnicity or race perspective. And I'm sick of it. But I also think that there are a lot of misconceptions and a lot of falsities out there as well. And as much as I like some things that Andre says, Andre takes some things and he exaggerates. I think he takes things and he tells incomplete or half truths. I get that he wants to hold us responsible and accountable. I do as well. But I think it's also important while you're talking about holding us accountable to talk about other factors as well, right? As much as he talk about the JEW community all across his Twitter, then when he comes on here, I mentioned the very thing that I know he talks about and he's recognized like I have. He goes, you can't blame everything on them. I never said everything, bro. I never said that. That's a straw man. I said this specific thing, the message that's pushed in Hollywood, right? That's all. Chud admitted to starting it while on the stretcher. I don't know if that's true, but what I do know is the audio that I'll play here, he admitted to walking up to them, but then he says that he walked away when they told him, don't walk up to me doing all that chimping out stuff. In what stream ever have we ever seen that dude walk up to somebody, them tell them, walk away from me, and he listens? He never does that. He stands there, continues to talk, say whatever he wants, which he has the right to do, right? And he hopes that they do something or say something that helps his video go viral so that he can make more money. That's the truth. In his audio, you're going to hear him say, he walked up, they told him to walk away, he did, and then they followed him. Get out of here. Don't nobody believe you, dude.
Up to him because they were pointing at me. They were laughing, they were pointing at me, and I said, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing?" I said, "Y'all like the new suit?" He said, "Walk away from me." I walked away from him.
He sounds so innocent here. He sounds nothing like he sounds in his live streams. Why all of a sudden you're a victim, Chud? What happened, Dalton? You were so bold and confident before.
He came back up to me. He literally said, "I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in." He said, "You
see how he started that sentence and he didn't finish it and he pivoted?" To me, that communicates he's not being honest. He's trying to think of things as he speaks. He's trying to make sure he doesn't say anything to incriminate himself as he speaks.
He literally said, "I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in." He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me.
See how he said you. So I want to make sure I understand this. So Dalton, Chud the Builder, walked up to a stranger who were laughing and pointing at him. Why are you walking up to him? Walks up to them. They tell him, "Walk away. I feel like I'm in danger. I have PTSD. If you start saying that chimping out stuff, I might." Then Chud cuts his sentence off. Then he goes, "Then he hit me." Really, bro? He was warning you to walk away. And before he gave you an opportunity to do just that, he hit you? Really, Chud? Nobody believes you, bro.
PTSD, I feel like I'm in. He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me, started wailing on me.
Lies. I don't believe him. Nobody believes him. I can't wait till the footage comes out.
After I had to defend myself by shooting him, he's still wailing on me.
Yeah. Dude is going to prison.
Where's your weapon at?
They have everything.
What weapon is that right there?
I believe that's it. Is that yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking to him right now. Oh no, you guys are gonna do your thing. Okay. He has a graze. I call it a graze to the left arm. He has slight abrasion right here on his head. Maybe some scrapes. Lightheaded.
Yeah. This is not going to end well for this guy at all. At all. At all. Right? You already have a bad reputation of doing certain things, saying certain things. You're known for walking up on people. You're known for yelling at people, calling them slurs, telling white guys to stop dating black girls and to get them a different one and calling him a what is it, a mud something, whatever they call it. White people who are attracted to black folks. Provoking people with weapons on you. You can't do that. So I'm not going to keep repeating myself. They couldn't argue from a legal perspective, which I didn't expect them to, because they lose the argument. Chud's going to jail, and I believe he's going to be convicted as guilty. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.